Good evening and welcome back to Movie Universe. Tonight we're diving into something a little primal. Not war, not spies, but fear. A very specific kind of fear. The kind that lives under the surface. Shark movies have been terrifying audiences for nearly 50 years now. And yet, statistically speaking, sharks are far less dangerous than we imagine. So why does the idea of a fin slicing through the water instantly tighten our chest? Why does the ocean suddenly feel like the most vulnerable place on Earth? Tonight, we're exploring how shark movies manipulate fear and looking at some of the most effective shark films ever made. To understand all of this, we have to start with the film that changed everything. Jaws. When Jaws was released in 1975, it didn't just create a monster, it created anticipation. What makes Jaws so psychologically powerful isn't how much we see the shark, it's how little we see it. The ocean becomes negative space, an open frame filled with possibility, and our brains hate uncertainty. When we can't see the threat, we imagine it. And what we imagine is often worse than anything a filmmaker could show us. The slow build, the iconic music, the underwater point of view shots. The shark becomes less of an animal and more of a presence. An unseen apex predator lurking beneath normal life. That's the first trick shark movies use, invisibility. They weaponize what we can't see. But as the genre evolved, filmmakers started experimenting with something else, intelligence. To Deep Blue Sea, how the sharks aren't just predators, they're enhanced, smarter, strategic. This shifts the fear. It's no longer just nature doing what nature does. It's nature outthinking us. There's something deeply unsettling about that. Because humans are comfortable believing we sit at the top of the food chain. When a creature begins to feel calculating, that hierarchy collapses. And suddenly the fear becomes personal. We're not just prey, we're being hunted. Then the genre pivots again, this time toward isolation. That's where open water quietly terrifies its audience. There's no giant laboratory, no explosive action sequences. Just two people left behind in the middle of the ocean. And here's the genius of it. The sharks aren't even constantly attacking. They're circling, distant, patient. A horror here isn't violence, it's exposure. Open water strips away every illusion of safety. No walls, no land, no escape routes. Just you floating in something endless. Psychologically, this taps into one of our most ancient fears, abandonment. Being alone in an environment we cannot control. And because open water feels so grounded, so plausible, it becomes disturbingly believable. Now compare that to something like The Shallows. Here, the setup is minimalist. One surfer, one rock, one shark. But what makes this film so effective is proximity. The shark is always near, visible, watching, waiting. And the audience shares the same limited perspective as the protagonist. There's no wide strategic overview, no safe detachment. We are trapped with her. Every movement into the water feels like a gamble. The film manipulates fear through restriction. Limited space, limited options, limited time. It's survival cinema at its most focused. And then, of course, there's the other direction shark films sometimes take. Scale. Enter the Meg. This is no longer about realism or subtle tension. This is myth. A prehistoric, impossibly massive shark rising from the depths. And interestingly, the fear here changes again. It becomes spectacle. Instead of manipulating us through silence or psychological vulnerability, The film overwhelms us through size. The shark isn't hiding, it dominates the frame. This taps into something different, the fear of the colossal. The same instinct that makes giant monsters compelling. It's less intimate, but still effective. Because at the core of every shark film lies the same primal dynamic. We are not in control underwater. Water distorts vision, sound travels differently, movement slows us down, we are out of our element. And shark movies understand that beautifully. They don't just show a predator, they remove our advantages. On land, humans are resourceful. In the ocean, we're fragile. That's the psychological center of the genre. Shark movies manipulate fear by placing us in an environment where we are no longer dominant. And depending on the film, that fear takes different shapes. The unseen threat in Jaws, the calculated predator in Deep Blue Sea, the isolation of open water, the survival tension of The Shallows, the mythic scale of The Meg. Different tones, same vulnerability. And maybe that's why shark movies endure. They remind us that despite technology, despite progress, there are still spaces on this planet where we are not the apex predator. Where something older, faster, and perfectly adapted might be watching from below. So the next time you're standing in the ocean and you can't quite see what's beneath you, you'll know exactly why your imagination starts working against you. That's not just cinema, that's instinct. Which shark movie disturbed you the most? And more importantly, would you swim after watching it? Thank you for watching Movie Universe. We look forward to seeing you again as we return with new topics.